You're listening to the Comic Crusaders podcast. I am your host, Al Mega, CEO of Comic Crusaders and Undercover Capes. In this show, I'm sitting down with creators from all walks of life to talk about inspiration, process, the lessons they've learned, and a whole lot more. What up, everybody? Welcome to a brand new Comic Crusaders podcast with your boy, Al Mega. Thank you one and all for joining today. Yo, first, before we get started with this amazing program today, because we have an amazing music producer, let me bring a fellow Crusader that is also, not just a journalist, but also a music homie himself, the one and only C.V.R the Bard. What's up, homie? How you doing?
Yo, what's good? Over here living in the free world.
Are you excited for today?
Of course. Dealing with a producer of this caliber, let's go.
Yeah, man. I mean, this dude has been killing it and smashing it. He is a New York native like myself, but he from Shaolin himself. He has a brokerage background that decided to one day apparently step away and say, I'm going to go follow my passion, and he started doing amazing motherfucking music, right? And now he's working with an amazing legendary people, if you will, right? He's worked with Inspector Deck. He's worked with Ghostface. He's worked with Remedy. I mean, this dude has got a new album he helped produce too. Remedy versus Wu-Tang. There's a whole bunch of other stuff that he's done. He's got a killer SoundCloud. Who am I talking about? The one and only mega producer himself, Danny Caiazzo. How you doing?
I'm chilling, brothers. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Nah, brother, thank you for coming on, brother, because you are like smashing it, brother. I'm very happy to speak to a new Wu member. Web, Shaolin represent Wu forever.
Absolutely.
But I'm throwing up my W's out here too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man, for real, yo, awesome. So, Danny, talk a little bit about yourself. So, are you like born and raised out there in Shaolin?
No, actually, born and raised in Brooklyn.
Oh, Brooklyn, yeah, Peter.
Where
in Brooklyn?
Brooklyn, Sheepshead Bay. I went to Lincoln High School.
Okay.
And
awesome.
So I moved out to Staten Island when I got married. My wife is from out here. So
your wife dragged you to Shaolin.
She dragged me to Staten Island, absolutely. So
was that something you wanted to do? Honestly, I know Brooklyn. We got good pizza, great music.
Yeah, but you know what? Like at the time, Brooklyn was kind of changing, and you don't want to fight with the wife too much. So yeah, I made the move.
Okay, you live by the motto "Happy wife, happy life."
I try to, bro. I try.
He goes, he tries.
I try.
I love it.
I try to.
I love it. So I want to know a little bit about your upbringing,
and
just because again, you are an amazing producer, and I was looking a little bit into your background. I see you also, me too, back in the 90s. I did the Wall Street thing, way prior to the World Trade Center stuff. Though I work with companies like Monitor Investments and U Atlantic. Look them up. There's apparently mafia firms. I work for more mafia families unwittingly than I actually knew.
Yeah.
Whoa. So, you plugged in, I'll make it up.
Yeah, man, that was some crazy shit. So how was it for you, Danny, growing up? Who were your influences? Who influenced you? And what I mean by that, before you answer, is like who introduced you to music? Was it mama? Was it papa? Was it an uncle? Was it titi? Or was it something that you went on a self journey?
Well, honestly, it was both my parents got me into music. I was named after the Elton John song Daniel.
Hey.
Going on the plane anytime soon?
Right. So that was my mother's influence, and my father was always playing like disco and funk in the house and stuff like that. So I always remember, music being a good vibe and like good times, and I was just always drawn to it. Like even when I was a kid, my mother has a picture of me like probably like 3 years old or something with like one of those, if you remember, the little Casio keyboards.
Oh, yeah.
So I had one of those, and any genre of music, I was just always found something good in it and positive and something that, you could share with. And then as I got older, you realize you could share it with everybody. It didn't matter what you look like, where you come from, or whatever. Like music is universal.
So was it easy for you to find your tribe then as you were growing up? Your music tribe, if you will?
Say that again?
Was it easy for you to find your music tribe as you were growing up?
No, I mean, I was all over. I was all over the place growing up. Like whether it was, for the girls listening to New Kids on the Block to
God,
to like Michael Jackson, obviously when we were kids.
Yeah.
Then listening to like the whole grunge wave, Pearl Jam, Nirvana.
Wait. Are you old enough to remember freestyle music too?
I am old enough to remember the tail end of freestyle music. Yes.
Gotcha. There you go.
So that was always a good time too. I mean, you can't if you know hip freestyle music and you're at a party and you hear a freestyle song, you can't help yourself but dance, right? Like that's just
dance and start singing. Like you saw your age. Like, yeah, man, I got to do it.
It's all good. Age is just a number. Yeah, it's all good.
I love
it. It's freestyle music, then I gotta take some notes.
You should. Johnny O, TKA, Little Susie, all them, right?
Yeah, TKA, Stevie B.
Stevie B, that's right. Yeah, man. Suave.
Yeah,
so many. I love it.
Good times, especially in the summertime in New York City. Freestyle was the stuff.
That's what I remember. And then as it started kind of getting slower and Latinos were stepping away, the Italian community embraced the shit more out of it. I'm like, holy smokes, bro. Italians love freestyle.
Italians love freestyle, bro. I got older friends that I'll go to their houses now. They'll play freestyle and it'll be like the first time they heard it. They'll be throwing chairs and going nuts, singing it.
Oh shit!
People love that, especially like you said, Italian people. They love that stuff.
They do. I love it. This is why we connected, mi gente. Yeah. This is why I love it. So I'm gonna give the floor in a moment to Sever because I know he has questions. But I want to say, so you said it wasn't easy to find your tribe. You were all over the place. So when was the first time that you yourself attempted to take, that creative journey? What was those first steps like, and what made you want to take those steps?
Well, I think the first thing that happened was I fell in love with hip hop.
What was the first track you fell in love with, if you remember?
I do remember. Jacket for Beats by Ice Cube.
Epa, nice.
Yo, that was insane. Off that little EP.
Hell yeah.
You remember Jacket for Beats, and I remember there was a video show on like Saturday nights, late night. It was a video music box. It was something else with a chick named D something. I don't remember. Uh-huh. I don't remember the name of the show. And I remember seeing the video for Jacket for Beats, and I was like, wow. I was blown away. And then the first thing I fell in love with was the beat.
Yeah, nice.
And I think that's what
the mini beats.
The mini beats, exactly. I think that's what sparked my interest as far as like production. I didn't even start with production at that point, but that's what got me, loving that type of music. Like and that was the Bomb Squad, so that was like real East Coast.
Yes.
That was like real East Coast heavy, type of stuff that eventually like RZA and them started doing and shit like that. So that was the stuff I was always drawn to, and that's really the genesis of me falling in love with hip hop.
And when you got your hands on something for the first time, was it a cassette or vinyl?
It was a cassette. It was Public Enemy, Fear of a Black Planet.
Hey, damn, yo. That was your first joint? Jesus, you hear that, Summer?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Wow. I bought that on LP, though, with the little lenticular cover.
and my grandfather, old school Italian, so I don't have to say anymore, was like, he saw it on my table one day. He was over my house. He was like, what the is this?
Yo,
what the fuck are you trying to say, homie?
And I was trying to tell him, I was like, Pop, this is the stuff right here.
So he was like one of the radio callers on the inserts, huh?
Yes, exactly.
Oh man. Yeah. So did your family embrace you when you were embracing this music? I mean, I know you
Yes.
said your pop was into funk, so I kind of that's a great transition to hip hop, no doubt.
Yes, they were supported from day one. I think
Wonderful.
at the time even I was starting to DJ a little bit, mess around like that, just to just to try to get involved in some way, shape, or form. And I got
Wow.
they helped me out with getting turntables and stuff like that. I used to have in the
That's
basement,
dope.
and yeah, they've always been supportive, even till now, till this day.
That's
My
wonderful.
parents are supportive with the musical journey.
That's the way it should be. Sever, go ahead, brother.
Man, I got so many different questions. I'm really glad that Bomb Squad like influenced your style, and I can tell. Especially, did you actually produce the entire Remedy record, the Remedy Meets Wu-Tang joint?
The first through the 12th song. So,
Oof.
So the bulk.
yeah, bulk of it. So, Remedy added his little touches to it as well because he's a dope producer too.
Oh wow, an
Yeah,
MC producer, the double. What is it? A double trouble right there.
yeah. So he added some stuff too. Crazy Eights, he added some stuff too, and but the Killer Priest joint and obviously the Never Again, I didn't produce those two.
Oh, interesting. So
But
the two closing joints.
the two closer joints, but the rest of the album is me.
Word. And I could tell through the production from the bulk of the album that it was very sample heavy, and it took me back. I was like, oh shit, like this is like I'm listening to Into the Wu-Tang all over again. Because if you listen to what's the second album, the one with Wu-Tang Forever, and then if you listen to Iron Flag
Mhm.
or anything after that, the samples aren't really too heavy in the production style. Into the Wu-Tang is very sample driven.
Mhm.
And to hear your style on this, on Remedy Meets Wu-Tang, there it was. And that, of course, comes from the essence of the Bomb Squad. So to hear you say the Bomb Squad is number one, like my name's Sever, because like again, like that's the initials for my government name. But if
Right.
you go into the mathematics of it, that's C Victory rules. I wouldn't have gotten into any of the mathematics or anything if it wasn't for
If it
Wu-Tang.
was,
But
I got you.
yeah,
Yeah.
if it
The
wasn't
less
for Wu-Tang.
the
Word.
lessons
And
the lessons and the jewels. Yeah, absolutely, man.
yes, yes. And my sword stays sharp, man. So it's a sever. And then also, like Barstow, California, we can't carry guns out in Cali. I'm from Los Angeles originally, but Barstow is the city that I stayed up in for a time in San Bernardino County. I used to walk around with a machete, yo. So like you see what I'm
So
saying? Like, yes, you gotta stay sharp and however how you do it, whether it's with your mind or if you out there. So
I actually thought it was in reference to like severing up samples, like chopping them up.
yes, and I
Hey.
do. Yo, I actually have a very big series. Like I do actually DJ as well. So we
Mhm.
do have that in common. And I actually got into DJing through chopping and screwing music, not just with the Bomb Squad. The Bomb Squad actually like really helped because I was like, oh shit, like I could layer a bunch of samples and people can't tell where I fucking got the sample from, so I can't get sued. And
And,
then
and they were ill, and they were the illest. They were the illest at that, layering samples until
word,
RZA came along. It was like, at least for me, it was like Bomb Squad, Muggs, RZA.
Oh man, yes, yes,
word.
mugs, absolutely, too, bro.
Yeah,
Legendary.
Bugs is fucking
Yes.
insane. Riz is dope. I got it, but for my inspiration, I got to give it to Screw, Michael
Uh-huh.
Watts. Like I
Okay.
really got into chopping and screwing music. I have a whole series called Asphyxie Cuts, where I call it choked and strangled because anybody that chops and screw music knows that if you say your shit's screwed and it's not DJ Screw who's doing it, you a fucking perpetrator. So you better call that shit chopped and slow to something else. So I call my shit choked and strangled.
I like that. And
Word.
Screw, correct me if I'm wrong. He was from Texas, right?
Yes, he is. Houston, Texas. I stayed
Yep.
up in Wichita Falls, Texas for a time to really get like a feel of it as well too.
He did a lot of stuff with again, correct me if I'm wrong, Bun B, UGK, stuff like that back in the
Um,
day.
uh, Only a little. UGK
Only a
was
little.
present on one of their tapes, but he did a lot of things with like Zero, Traded Truth, Mr. 3-2,
Okay.
a little bit of Scarface. You know what I'm saying? Like mostly it was the screwed up click, Little Flip.
I was gonna
Who else?
say Flip, yeah.
AKWK. Word. Word, yeah, Flip, the fucking freestyle scientist, man.
Mhm.
Little Kiki as well too, the freestyle king. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like mostly the SUC, but then as time, because he passed up, well, he transcended off of that codeine overdose.
Right.
So yeah, that halted things, but he did have like UGK on a couple of tapes, Scarface on a couple of freestyle tapes, and some interviews as well too. So yeah, Screw, Michael Watts, OG Ron C. You know what I'm saying? Those are big
Ron C,
influences.
wow.
Slim K, yeah.
Nice.
Definitely.
But for you,
That's a whole. Excuse me. That's a whole nother.
right,
They created their own lane with that stuff, or Screw did, right?
yeah, most definitely.
He created his own lane for that, and that you got to give people respect that they create their own lane. Like I feel like somebody like LP kind of did that too.
LP's fucking insane out the Weatherman.
Yep.
Yeah, fucking insane. Like his instrumental tapes are just bonkers, and then the bars are just fucking insane as well too.
Yeah.
I'm actually headed up to the Dakotas, and he has a performance over there with Rage Against the Machine in a couple of months, and yeah, that's right up that lane. You know what I'm saying? That's perfect. You know what I mean? Cage
with
Bass
Run the
Air,
Jewels,
yeah,
Run the Jewels too, or just
Run the Jewels, yeah, with Killer Mike as well too. Yeah.
It's funny that you said Rage. I remember going to a show at the Meadowlands in like '97 when Wu and Rage were touring together.
Damn, you saw that?
Yeah.
Oh God, I'm so jealous. That's the one crew that I
beautiful.
have wished that I have seen in person that I have not seen.
That was something special.
And I need to be in that mosh pit, even at my age now, when that happens.
That was something special.
Dakotas, then. We got him.
Everybody better protect their neck when Almega in that mosh pit right there. Like that says, bro. The OG right here, son. Yeah, bro.
The bloody version. No censorship.
Yeah, man, the real deal, bro. You see it right there, it says it. All right.
That's hip hop history, like I said before, definitely.
Yeah, man, I even got this one.
Wow.
Wait, which one is that? Is that Can It Be Also Simple?
Yeah, well, Wu-Tang. Yeah, can it all be so simple? And Wu-Tang Clan down to fuck with on this one.
On that one, yeah, the red one, I remember that. Yeah.
Okay.
And it still has the plastic.
Too? Does it have the remix too? From OB4CL?
Radio edit on one side and then the album version on the other. It's the radio edit. And they even got like Shimmy and Killer Army. Come on, man. Good shit, bro.
Woo!
This is my stuff.
What's your favorite Wu album?
Wu group, or you including the solos and all that?
Including the solos.
It's a tie between Wu Forever and Supreme Clientele.
Oh, Supreme is amazing.
The way the joint starts off with the Juju beat.
Yeah.
The little iron is inspired.
Actually, I don't want to correct you, but the Juju beat is second. Nutmeg is first, which is the barber. What was his name? Nutmeg was, I forgot his name as a producer, but the barber kid. No.
Because I know one was Juju, and I thought it started right there.
One was Juju.
No, I got that confused with Capital Punishment because Beware starts with a Juju. That's a Juju beat as well.
But no. Supreme starts with Nutmeg, which was by the barber. I forgot how he went with his first name. But then the second one was one by Juju from the Beatnuts. Yeah. But it's a tie between, for me, always tied between Wu Forever and Supreme.
Oh yeah, the Nutmeg joint's like doo.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah,
that shit hard.
So, Danny, let me ask you here, because one thing I noticed, because here I am listening to your amazing SoundCloud, right? It's something I noticed was that in a lot of the sampling, I heard a lot of Saturday morning cartoon influence. Is that something intentional? Are you like a cartoon fan or what? Because I was digging that you have a particular joint, Zoink, and I'm like, this is Scooby. I'm over here like, yo, I did that shit on Rewind like 3 times, bro. Just loving it.
I appreciate it. I was, as a kid growing up, Saturday mornings were always a special thing, watching cartoons and eating cereal and whatever. And like, but like I said before, I try to grab influences from anywhere, and Doom was a huge influence. God bless, and
rest in peace, yeah, man.
Absolutely. And I, like I said, I just tried to, after he passed, I tried to put myself in that space and see if I could create something that was worthy of all the dope tracks that he created, basically coming from that vantage point of like a kid watching Saturday cartoons, because he had so many joints like that. You know, like to me, Operation Doomsday kind of plays like a Saturday morning cartoon.
Oh yeah, a Fantastic Four episode with Doomsday,
right?
With Doom,
exactly. Right? Yeah. You know, so that's what I try to do with that one. Just like, again, to just pay homage to somebody that I respected, admired, and was definitely influenced by.
But what does your collection look like, bro, for you to be able to dig in so deep into music? Because, you know, again, listening to everything you've done, you pull for so many places. I mean, you know, how do you put that together? What's that collection look like? You know, that archive? Because damn, bro, you be digging.
The collection is pretty serious. I mean,
I love it.
But like I said before, like when you asked me about my tribe, I didn't have one. So I was listening to everything, and I was taking in everything. It's like, you know, you could grab stuff from a prog rock sample from the 70s, you know, and then like get influenced, like we're speaking about, like Doom from like a Spider-Man cartoon, or like, you know, when Madlib did the B Conductor series and he went to India, and you realize that.
Oh, I heard the Brazil joint. That was fire.
Or the Brazil stuff, and you heard like the different instruments, and you realize that you could take them and flip them into hip hop. That's I got influenced by all of those things. But then again, it goes back to the point that I was saying earlier. It reinforces the point that hip hop is universal, because you could grab from the Middle East, you could grab from rock in the USA, you could grab from anywhere. And like Conditioning, the first single off the Ghostface Killer record, that was from some like Japanese soundtrack from like the 60s. And
yo, you did that beat off Ghostface Killers?
Yeah,
I did all of them on Ghostface Killer.
He did the Sever. He did the whole Ghostface Killers album, and then he also produced Inspector Dex, the Chamber Number 9. He did 10 out of those tracks.
Love that record. Yo, the video for the futuristic shit off the Deck record, that shit was crazy. Did you come up with that idea?
No. That is actually one of the 2 songs that I did not produce, and I'm pretty sure that the idea for the video was brought to life by Remedy, Deck, and Rock Davis, the guy who directed.
Word.
That's a question we haven't asked. So here you are, like, dude, we're talking that he's working with people in Wu-Tang. How did you meld and connect with them? How did you get into the world of the Wu?
So the connection is through Remedy, who is through one of my good friends who I've known for 20-something years. My friend Ralph. So shout out Ralph Studo.
Ralph.
Exactly.
Oh, Ralph.
And he plugged me up with Remedy, and I sent the B folder to Remedy once. At this point, it must be like 7-8 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And he liked what he heard, and he brought me down to the studio where Deck was recording, and still records at the time. And I played some joints for Deck that he liked, and that was the initial steps to Chamber Number 9 or whatever. And then as time went on, more and more people came down, and Ghost heard some joints, and we were able to make Killers happen. And then we focused on the Remedy Wu, and we're looking to do a lot more in 2022.
I know, man, because you got a whole bunch of other stuff coming through. There's another group you work with, from what I understand, right?
Oh yeah, years ago I had my own. I had a little independent label situation that you know, unfortunately, was it didn't go the way that I wanted, but it was a learning experience, which means that you can,
Okay.
which you can only, you know, take positives from and keep going. And I think it definitely helped me into where I am at now.
Nice, but I can't wait, man. You know, and bless on that. So, um, you have any other questions there, Sever? I know you said you had a ton, so I gotta make sure you get them through.
Yeah, I'm ready to go. Okay, so I'm curious about this. Just to start things off, do you consider Raekwon's and Ghostface Killers only built for Cuban links to be Raekwon's first solo album, or do you consider it to be a Raekwon GFK album?
To me, it's a Raekwon GFK RZA album.
Ooh, okay, right.
But yes, it's a Raekwon Ghostface album for sure.
Yeah, right. Let's do it.
Because I mean, if we're honest with each other, I mean, there's definitely joints that they're both on that Ghostface outshines everybody, right? If we're being honest.
Facts. And then you have a track like Wisdom Body on there as well too, just straight Ghostface.
Right. Or like, you know, or like Criminology, the verse from Criminology.
Oh, stop.
You're not right. So if we're being honest, I mean, yeah. Or even Rainy Days.
Word.
I mean, there's a bunch that Ghostface shines, you know, but I mean, I'm biased, but I mean, you know, there's no comparison between the discography of Ghostface and Raekwon. There's no comparison.
Where, I mean, y'all see me masked up right here. I mean, when I go on these pods, I always got the Rorschach mask on. I know today y'all see me with just the image, the Rorschach image. And, you know, as we spoke about Doom prior, and of course, like, you know, cats like Blowfly from like the 60s who inspired Too Short and Doom as well, too, and Kool Keith.
Yeah.
Ghostface was a big influence as well, too, when it came down to this mask. And of course, the comic book persona as well, too, for me to take like Rorschach, a journalist, you know what I mean? Like, and it's funny, like, when I heard, well, I was telling you earlier in the show, like, I came up, you know, from like, you know, we hip hop, you know what I'm saying? We got a lot of flavor to us, and a lot of that flavor comes from poverty, you know, and making what we can out of nothing. And I had a Discman back when I was like 15 years old, and this was like in the 2010s, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I stole a Wu Massacre record with the Ghostface cover because months prior at a fucking Target, I was stealing CDs from Target. And fucking, I remember I stole the first Wu-Tang record I stole was Only Built for Cuban Links Part 2. I hadn't even heard Part 1 yet. I was a freshman in high school, and that shit blew my fucking mind. And I gotta say, on every record, whether it was Mean Streets, where it was fucking what was it? The sequel to Rainy Days with Blue Raspberry on that joint. Ghostface was outshining. He definitely was outshining a lot of the guests.
Sever, since it blew your mind, did you feel guilty and go back and pay for the album?
Yes, I did. Eventually, I got the vinyl. I had the dark purple vinyl.
I got something else and paid for it.
But I got a question then for Sever. If Cuban Links 2 blew your mind, then what do you think when you heard Cuban Links 1?
When I went back, I was 15, and I was like, man, this can't fucking compare. Like, to me, it was like boring when I first heard it when I was 15 years old. Because I was like, man, Cuban Links 2 has like the Dr. Dre tracks, and it has like all this, like it has like Jadakiss and Styles P and shit, like D Block, like what the fuck? And then like, you know, but then as I got older, and then when I bought Raekwon's Only Built for Cuban Links on vinyl, and I heard that I had like the whole experience down to down to North Star. Mm-hmm. And hearing it on vinyl was different because when you hear it on vinyl, it's a lot slower when it plays at 33 1/3. That's actually how I got the terminology for choke and strangle, because I had a roommate back in Barstow, California. He came in, he's like, what the fuck you playing this vinyl, this record? It sounds like somebody's getting strangled because of how slow it was playing. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? But the way that it was playing, it lets you like really like understand. Like if I'm listening to a podcast, I'm putting that shit at ×2 the speed. Right. But if I'm listening to a vinyl, I'm putting that shit at 33 1/3 because I really get to understand every instrument, the layering of the tracks, the layering of the vocals, how exactly, like what exactly is being said. It's really like a message being told to you, that warm, static feeling. And to hear Only Built for Cuban Links Part 1, then I started to understand it when I got it on wax. When I heard it like on YouTube, I didn't understand that shit. But when I got it on wax, man, and now it stays in rotation all the time. I got the instrumental version though, you know what I'm saying? Because
I got you.
I'm the records, but yeah.
And I feel like most of us, probably Mega will agree with me. We all thought that 2 couldn't compare to 1.
Well, exactly.
For
Absolutely fucking agree, yo.
Oh, for Only Built. Word.
Yep.
Album to album wise, because that's how we measure stuff. Shit, album to album. It wasn't track for track. Album, like which one was more of a banger? And you know, back in the day, I would buy the CD or the tape. You know, I'm living with wifey. You know, here's a Friday night. People come over. We getting some smoke, some drinks. Yo, I got the new tracks. You know, we got this new album. We're having a listening party. You know what I mean? So whether it was Wu, Jay, we're like, all right, and we're judging it. You know what I mean? Track by track, having conversations, and we getting blazing days out of our fucking mind for days. It was wonderful.
See, here in the current era, I only have one of those, and that was when the 444 album dropped from Jay. I only had one listening party. That was it.
Nah, man, I used to do that hardcore all the time because that's how music. You know, we gotta appreciate what Danny's work. People like Danny. I'm a beat junkie, so I kind of really appreciate what you said. That the first thing you fell in love with was the beat when you first got into it. Same shit with me. Is the beat.
I feel like but I feel like that's hip hop. Like you listen to the beat and then you go back because hip hop was always based on the the DJ, two turntables and a mic. Turntables had to drop the beat. Like I always felt like you respect the beat first, then you go back and listen.
Did you have some 1200s, bro?
I did have 2 1200s. Yep.
Nice, bro. The classics. That's also why you ain't got no turntable. You need a 1200. That's the real deal.
Yeah, man.
Yo, since you started off with the Casio, what is it today? Would you say Casio over a Kai?
Oh, nah. I never say Casio over a Kai. Nah, you can't say that. Nah, that's like
so no love lost.
Nah, man, that's crazy.
That's Swiss Beats, bro. Right? This is Danny C right here. Right?
That's like truly seltzers over a Heineken or something like that.
Hey, oh shit, bro. Yeah. Agua fucking over a Heineken.
You know what I mean? Nah, you can't. Casio obviously they had a instrument, but. Nothing in hip hop can mess with, at least as far as I'm concerned, can mess with the MPC.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I bought one for wife and she's still trying to get acclimated on it. She loves music. And go get musical, baby. Go ahead.
Yeah, listen.
My podcast.
Casio or the Kai?
I taught myself how to do the MPC, and then
thank you. That's something I want to know.
Once you put in enough hours. It's like anything else. If you love it enough and you practice, it's gonna start speaking lovely to you. So
yeah, that's something I'm curious about. When you started getting into the steps, is this something you really did take upon yourself to learn? Did your parents say, "Here's a couple of dollars, go to school"? I mean, what was that like?
So when you were talking about Wall Street before,
yeah, man,
I was actually in the Twin Towers on 9/11.
Get the fuck out of here! You were there.
Yeah, it was in there.
Oh, thank God you're here, kiddo. Wow.
Tower 2 to 55th floor, and I made it out.
55th floor of Tower 2?
Yeah. And
wow.
I tell this story to people, like, after that day, like, I realized that, it was a cool job or whatever, but my priorities were a little bit out of whack.
Yeah.
And I somebody told me, like, do what you love. And the first thing when they said do what you love was, what do I love? And the first thing that came to my mind was hip hop. And I asked my parents to send me to an engineering school in the city called Institute of Audio Research. I went there.
Oh shit, I remember that. I used to see the commercials back home.
Yeah. I went there. Which was cool, but it wasn't like where it was supposed to be. It was just really like
like the commercial at least,
right? But a little more like engineering and whatnot.
Okay.
But through that I met a couple of people, and at that point, believe it or not, I had this I was using to make music this Korg Triton keyboard, and I went to one of my friend's house in the Lower East Side, and I went into his studio, and he had an MPC, and I was like, that's what I want. That's what I need.
Yeah.
And I went to Manny's Music in Times Square.
Oh wow, old school. Holy shit.
I bought my first MP there.
Wow.
And the guy who sold it to me, I remember I was there with my girlfriend at the time, was my wife. He said to her, he said, he's going to be spending a lot less time with you now. You realize that, right?
Oh, shit. Oh damn, just warned her already.
He warned her off the rip. Like, he was like, yeah, you're gonna spend a lot less time with her. He gave me the MPC, no instruction booklet or whatever, and I just
old school.
And I just sat there and went in. Yep. And
nice.
And that was it.
So you were musically inclined though to kind of dig in.
Yeah, but you know what? Also, I was musically inclined to dig in, but also I feel like I was just passionate enough about it to want to learn more and
wonderful.
You know what I mean? Like
that fire was there.
Right, the fire was there. Like it, and that's with anything. Like, you know, you were saying before. I feel like this is part of your guys' your show. Like, you talk about people's journey, and like if the fire is there, if the fire is there for anything, like at this point in my life, I tell my kids that. Like, when I came home and I showed them the Ghostface Killer record, and I turned it over, and I showed them the credits, and it said, and it said, you know, produced by or beats by, and it had my name. I said, you could do anything you want in the world. Don't ever let anybody tell you can't, because, and that to me is more worth more than anything at this point in my life than anything else. Because
how did you feel, brother, when you saw that your name on that album? How did you feel?
Yeah, it felt like
validation,
huge validation, but also legacy wise, as far as that's something that can't be taken away ever. You know, like that's done. That's in the history books. Like, we did that.
That's a time capsule right there.
You know what I mean? And then, like I said, for me to be able to share it with my kids and say and teach them the lesson and drop a jewel as far as you can do anything you want. It doesn't matter, because there was plenty of people who told me, yo, you can't do that. You can't make that music. You can't get in that world.
I mean, of course, they're seeing you. This is the, you know, part of this. A white boy, stockbroker from New York, wanting to get the hip hop. Get out of it, and now look at you. You're messing with the best of hip hop.
Yeah,
yo, dude. I mean, crazy, bro. That's a beautiful, inspirational journey. I'm like, it's true. I mean, here you go. You made a decision on a very fateful day.
Mm-hmm.
And you turned his life around. So between that time of decision to, you know, to an actual project, you know, that you landed, what was that time gap? What was that journey?
Between a project that, you know, people like Wu-Tang, or people that
just in general, one of your first projects. From the time you took your, you know, that you decided this is my journey, and then boom.
Yeah, so then in 2001, obviously, but then after I realized what I wanted to do, my man Halo from Brooklyn, shout out to Halo, we put out a project independently, 2003.
Indeed. Beautiful.
Yeah. And I had a couple of artists underneath my label back then. It was called Fallout Shelter Productions. And it was people that I grew up with, or, you know, met through when I started at IAR in that music school in the city. And we made a little noise in the city, but, you know, like I said, when you're in this game, the one lesson that I've learned is you got to be full 100,000% in it.
Gotcha.
You can't half step. You know what I'm saying?
Ain't no bullshit in here. Like Kane said it. Ain't no half step.
Throw it back to BDK.
Brooklyn, kiddo. That's right.
Exactly.
Yeah, he said it. He said no half stepping. You got,
If you, my point is though, if you want it, go for it, right? Like you know what I mean. If you want it, just
dive deep, or don't dive at all, man. Don't be running to the cliff and try to break.
Right.
I love that, man. Because where did you find you to be so bold? Where did you dig in, like spiritually and mentally, to dig into your craft and create?
Honestly, because it was because of the situation I told you on 9/11. Like I could have not been here like plenty of other people, right? And I said to myself, if I'm gonna, however much time I have left, because I would have had none, but if however much time I have left, I might as well dive into shit and do shit that I love. And again, going back to that conversation with the person that I had it with, the first thing that came to my mind was hip hop specifically. So, like plenty of us, I think we can all relate to the fact that hip hop saved our lives, but legitimately,
yes, many of us,
which is a beautiful thing, because how many people from all different walks of life, or different experiences or whatever journeys, can say that, and that's what makes hip hop beautiful. And to me, it's only gonna get better and more appreciated as time goes on.
Okay, so one more question for you.
One more, man. Honestly, okay. Let's see. I'm gonna get a little bit more deeper into it. Now, Wu-Tang has been known for like what is it? They've been known to have like a heavy like 5% of Muslim influence, given their teachings that they learned from like Freedom and other such scholars, if you will, of that school of thought. I have a well, let's see, like my biological pops, I only known him for like 5 months of my life. He's a 5%er from Detroit. And okay, I'm getting echo. You guys hear an echo?
It's all good.
Okay, cool. I was rocking with the echo. Well, he's a 5%er from Detroit, and he's very anti-Semitic. Now his pops was Jewish, so he had a lot of he harbored a lot of hate for his pops. So that anti-Semitic thing kind of like trailed over and was a draw for him to get into a 5% school of thought while he was in Detroit. So it kind of interests me because what's it called? Remedy is ethnically Jewish, and I was like, like this is interesting to have a Jewish MC like with Wu-Tang, and this may say Remedy Meets Wu-Tang, but apparently he'd been rocking with the Wu for years. You know what I'm saying? So what's the whole story behind that? Because I listened to, what I mean, like I listened to Killer Priest's podcast, and he obviously, what I mean, they like refute the anti-Semitism and like all that.
Of course.
You know what I mean? Like as a person who has Jewish ethnicity as well too, you know what I'm saying? Like that was an interesting draw from like Remedy, and like, I'm just wondering like how did that occur? Does it ever like get brought up or something? Because Remedy speaks, of course, like even on like the last track, like he speaks heavily on his ethnic culture, and I'm just like, like this is interesting, because an old school 5%er like my pops, like what I mean, he wouldn't fuck with it or nothing. You feel me?
I think real recognize real. You know what I'm saying? And just for the record,
I love that summary. That's what's up.
And just for the record, my mother's Jewish, so by the law of Judaism, I'm Jewish. But but that's neither here nor there. But I think, like I said, real recognize real, and Remedy's a real dude that they all respect and love. And
talented
and has supreme and obviously has supreme talent, and they respect him just like he respects them, and they grew up in the game together, whether you saw Remedy in the forefront or not. Like Remedy, he was telling me the other day. I didn't even know. He was telling me the other day. He was in the background Can It Be video.
No way.
Really? Yeah, he pointed himself out. I was like, God damn, we've been rocking with them forever.
What is the get then?
So since the gate, so like, you know, like I said, like real recognize real, it doesn't matter. You know, and also some people interpret what they read, whether it's in the 5% or in the Bible or whatever. Some people interpret it differently.
Yes.
I know Remedy personally pretty well, and he loves all people. And just like myself, I love all people. It doesn't matter who you are. It's what your character is. It doesn't matter where you come from, or you know what type of background you have.
Absolutely.
So do you believe this is something where the media was like fanning the flames, kind of how they did with Public Enemy?
But dude, like that's what the media does.
Yes, they fan the flames. I mean, look, for example, Sever.
Don't you see? Don't you see what the media does today with all this shit going on in the world? They fan the flames for everything,
bro.
If they could see, I didn't mean to cut you off, Mega, but if they could see a Wu-Tang concert in Wu-Tang's heyday, Wu-Tang concerts, and I try to explain this to people who weren't there, Wu-Tang concerts had everybody, white, black, 5%, Jewish, Asian, women, children, everybody. Wu-Tang had everybody there.
It transcended color and culture.
It transcended color and culture, and that's what made it. And again, I'm biased, but that's what made it the most beautiful group and the most beautiful thing ever, because they transcended race or gender or
they made hip hop fun again too, with the music, the sounds. Absolutely. They used nostalgia to the core. You know, sampling. You know, they knew how to sample. Ain't no puffy sampling. I mean,
not puffy sampling when you just let it rock and you just pretend it's your own.
Not that. This is some real shit. This is like a master at work.
I'm actually kind of curious as well too, because this isn't my first run-in with an affiliate from Wu-Tang. Actually, I've spoken with Killer Priest before. You know, it's been good. All love to Priest. Shout out to Priest.
And Sever, didn't mean to cut you off, but by the way, Remedy does have a whole album with Killer Priest called Holy of Holies.
Is that coming out?
Yes. Yeah, I was gonna ask you. Yep.
And that's
when's that dropping?
And that's coming out next year. Holy of Holies. It's
what
Remedy.
beats you got on it?
At this point, I'm pretty sure I got about 75%.
I love it, man.
It's gonna be
wait a minute. Over here, I really had it written down.
There you go.
And it says here 90% is your production.
Yeah, that's so smart. definitely 75. Yes, definitely 75. Yes.
There you go.
Oh, hey, let me sneak in a verse. Let me sneak in a verse before I get all mastered down. But for real though, there's a sect known in Los Angeles, because I'm from California. I'm from Los Angeles, 626 to the 323. You know what I'm saying? And there's a sect called the Birds of Prey. Have you heard of them?
No, I haven't.
You haven't heard of them? Okay, because I was 17 years old, and they're a sect of the Wu-Tang Clan, and because you know there's so many different sects. It's worldwide. Wu-Tang is worldwide, and they were tripping off of me because I'm 17 and I didn't have my math up. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have my math up. So they were really, they were fucking with me at that point. So I was thinking like, with that, and then with everything else, with Wu-Tang being like so like the base starting off with 5% knowledge and math, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like I thought that was it's still like very important to the group and everything like that. But from what you just stated, you know what I mean? Like that's neither here nor there, apparently.
I think no. I think it's super important. I just don't think that it makes them judge people based on that.
Well, because that sect over there in Cali, BOP, they were like, you have to be fucking 5%er. You know what I mean? To fuck with the Wu at all. But Killer Priest wasn't like that to me. And Killer Priest even comes from a Christian background as well, too.
Yeah, like I said earlier, man. Like I said, real recognize real. It doesn't matter as long as you're an authentic person. Like,
yeah, man.
I mean, I've had conversations with Ghost, and I feel like he recognizes me as a real person. It doesn't matter, you know. He knows I'm not a 5%. I know the lessons. I know the you know the book, because from what they told me, and that's why I said Wu-Tang Forever is one of my favorite is my favorite album with Supreme, because of the lessons on there. Because my, like I told you, my mother's Jewish, my father obviously is Italian. I didn't have any sort of like religious upbringing. So again, I had no tribe, so I was just learning from everything. I read the Bible, I read the Torah, I read the 5% book. So I know where everybody's coming from. That's where it is.
You know.
So I'm saying, but my exactly. But my point is that it's lessons that they appreciate, but they don't judge you if you don't subscribe to that. You know what I'm saying? They don't judge you based off of that.
And that was just that particular sect.
Right.
Because I you know, there's so many different sects of the clan. Because again, like I said, it is worldwide. That's recognized, and like.
But bro, you could say that. You could say that honestly. I don't mean to cut you off, but you could say that about Christianity. People interpret Christianity completely different. Some people
absolutely
are completely spiritual with it, and some people don't like or can't stand or whatever. Don't want to deal with it.
I'm at that B level right there with what you're saying. I can't fuck with that shit with the lies of organized religion. But someone like Killer Priest would actually be able to respect and like appreciate the lessons that like he learned while being in, you know what I mean, like while being in that cult, basically, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but look at also how many truths he revealed about that just on Bible alone.
Oh yeah.
Word. That's what I'm saying. He can respect, you know what I mean? Like that's like respect. Like me, like as a spiritual dude, like when it comes down to like the cults, I'm still at that level personally where it's like I feel a little bit jaded towards like the cults, you know what I mean? Like the cult aspect of the shit, you know what I'm saying?
And me personally, I don't subscribe, and this is just me personally, I don't subscribe to organized religion.
Yeah.
Word. I could definitely be on that same way. I'm on that same wavelength as you. Yeah, but to speak on it in a like respectful tone, like Priest, like I respect that of him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course, and I don't disrespect anybody who has organized religion. God bless them. I do believe that there's a high being. I just don't know what it is. And like
none of us know. Yeah,
none of us know. Right? Exactly. It's like the same thing with all this nonsense with the jabs and all. Like I
Word.
respect people who got it. I just don't want to get it.
Gotcha.
Yo, it get dummy fastest out. It get dummy fastest out here with the cities. If for me personally, like I know the man in the mirror personally.
Right.
Word.
Just don't go to Burger King because they're gonna jump you. Apparently,
you saw that? You saw that?
Over what? The gas?
People are going crazy, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, New York is going nuts. You got people like doing you know how they do those surprise mobs, to surprise people. Well, apparently the unvaccinated are doing these surprise mobs at like Burger Kings and McDonald's in New York. And next thing you know, like cops are rushing in. Now, honest to goodness talk, I know that's important. However, there's so much massive crime in New York right now. Are you really sending 15, 20 cops for an unmasked person when you got motherfuckers slashing and pushing people onto trains? You know what I mean?
Yo, but that just shows you where
ridiculous.
That just shows you where their priorities are at these days, bro.
I mean,
it's crazy.
It's where the money's at.
Exactly.
Money, fuck that. Yo, can you please protect the real?
They don't care
people
about
getting
people.
slashed.
I'm
I'm in Florida right now, but I am watching videos from back home of old people getting punched from behind. I get angry. I wish I was there to see that. I'll snuff homie in a heartbeat. Are you crazy?
Yo, Mega, I got a quick question. Is that the Bill Bixby Hulk collection behind you?
No. I have a Hulk. This is my favorite Hulk. This one? Or what are you talking about?
You got DVDs?
That's the real nomad right there.
You got the DVDs and did you got the DVDs?
No, these are the comics. I have the Bill Bixby on digital, but these are actually the comics in collected versions Every single issue from the issue 1 to the astonishing, and then going back to his run and everything.
She got all of them.
Yeah, basically in this way, yes. I used to have them almost all in issue format, but of course, life consequences, and sometimes you got to make money. Thank God for comics, because I've always made money that way to get me out of trouble.
Yo, I had two of those original Hulks and two original Amazing Spider-Mans in my parents' basement in Sheepshead Bay in Brooklyn, and Sandy happened. They got destroyed.
Fucking Sandy.
9 feet of water they had in their basement. I had
those pages was just floating, huh?
Terrible.
See, my shit is Spawn. That's my big homie. I got every issue of Spawn, like literally.
But comics, comics with the shit. I mean, comics with the shit.
It's still my thing. I drive my wife crazy with it. It's comics, it's music, it's podcasting, it's my website. You know what I mean? It's talking to people like you.
We're all big kids. We're all big kids, bro. That's it.
What titles are you reading right now?
Are you reading anything, Danny? Are you a collector? Do you peruse anything? Do you read anything?
I honestly haven't. I got personally turned off after Sandy, so I haven't.
You haven't perused back in.
Nah, but if you guys got any suggestions, I'm more than willing to take them.
Well, if you love music,
I'm reading the Berserker, that Keanu Reeves joint. Yeah. It just the 6th issue just came out last week or so. Keanu Reeves and like another cat, and it has Raphael Grandpa doing all the art. Yeah. So that's a fire joint, Berserker, and then let's see, Shaolin Cowboy.
Okay.
I've been reading that right now too.
Okay.
Yeah. So you want to check? Oh, that's Jeff Darr. That's like the dude who did the art for Frank Miller's Hard Boiled and Big Guy and Rusty, and the RoboCops.
If you don't mind, Savage, just give me those names in message on IG, and
yeah. Let's do that. Yeah, brother. Let's DM it, because I got one for you, and it's my favorite to always tell people. Now, have you ever seen the movie The Truman Show?
Yeah, of course.
Yo, existentialism to the max.
So could you imagine a comic book where the character of Truman is actually a clone of Jesus Christ in modern day?
That's Bruce Almighty mixed with Truman Show.
That is Bruce Almighty mixed with Truman.
So this is by Sean G. Murphy. You got to check this out though, because it's called Punk Rock Jesus.
Wow.
And like it's very heavily musically inclined, because this is why he gets the attitude he gets is through music, because you'll see the journey and secrets. Sean G. Murphy did a wonderful job. I always tell people that book. I had one cat one year. Like I had told him, I met him at a con. We spoke about comics. I had just finished reading it. I told him, "Oh, this is what you should read." A year later, same convention, he calls me out. Yo, you're screaming. Like, what happened? Like, I don't really remember to do. He goes, "Last year you told me to read this. I want to thank you. I bought the single issues. I bought the hardcover. I've been telling people to read it. They'll thank you." So that's the one I recommend to you. That and 21, which is also musically inclined. They're gonna fuck you up. Listen, if you're a music fan, I'm gonna show you in the right narrative. Someone's giving you good stuff, but I'm gonna put you in the music comic route.
Okay, I'll raise you up even one better. Punk Mambo. That one you might want to check out as well too. And I'm curious. I'm curious, Omega, the Punk Rock Jesus joint. Is that a family affair? Because I know Murphy did the White Knight series with his wife for a DC Black Label.
No. This is his. No, this is all before Black Label. All before that. This was a Vertigo book.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 6-issue run. I picked up the original run. Everybody else, go buy your hardcovers. Go look finding the single issues. All right, go get the digital. It's all good. No, but Danny, let me tell you, bro, you've been a wonderful guest, bro. I've been showing this off the whole time. Like, you can follow Danny and IG right there. All right, check them out. But most importantly, you got to pick up this new album right now.
Physical's coming soon. Vinyl. CD.
When? What's coming soon? What? Early 2022?
The vinyls and the CD. We're gonna post them up soon. Yeah.
Hey, I can't wait. Wow. Yeah, because that is. Can I ask you who did the cover art? Because it is a dope cover. Do you know?
Yeah. FG. I'm gonna send you his tag on Instagram. He's a master. He's
yeah,
a
man,
master.
that's a dope cover. He definitely captured the Shaolin in that MF for sure.
Yeah, he's actually we're just working on some logos for myself at this point, me and him. So be on the lookout for that. But yeah, I'll send you his info. He's dope.
Oh, I would love to have him on to talk about
he's
what
dope.
he digs into for the artistry, especially with music.
Yeah,
and folks, I mean, if you want to listen to artistry, though, you got to visit the SoundCloud. You'll be jamming. Yo, you know what? With the fucking, it's New Year's Eve. Yo, start jamming and partying right now. Go visit Danny's SoundCloud. I'll fucking tell you right now, you're going to be breaking your neck. Get the neck brace. I'm not going to be held responsible for that shit.
Yo, I appreciate the love. And just a quick plug. When I was doing the SoundCloud before the whole Wu-Tang stuff, every December 31st, I would challenge myself to see how many beats I can make on that day, December 31st, and I would watch this old horror film called New Year's Evil, and I would
I love it. Yes, I know what you're talking about.
And I would get like pieces from it and put it in front and behind or whatever. And I did like 3 versions of New Year's Evil. They should be on the SoundCloud still. The first one is really dope.
Folks, there you go. He's teasing you guys. So you better go there and check it out. This is a very talented individual. I can't wait, Danny, to hear even more from you, because you're already teasing us with that Killer Priest and Remedy. You know, it's dropping next year. You know, the Holy of Holies. Holy shit, bro.
Holy of Holies is coming, and I can't tell you that Rem Wu Part 2 is coming too.
Oh, you hear this? Hey,
so that was Remedy Meets Wu. What's this gonna be?
We didn't come up with a title, but it's part 2 of that.
Nice.
Word. And we know how the Wu gets down with these part 2s. We got only built, the dirty version. You know what I'm saying? So
we're actually, but like I said before, Cuban Links 2 was good, but Cuban Links 1 is a classic. The dirty version is and Please is good, but 36 Chambers is classic. Which we're gonna try to add on and make this just as good, if not better, than the first.
Wonderful! I can't wait, man. Exactly. I mean, nowadays some sequels happen to be better than the first. Let's see if Danny is gonna. Let's see. I know he's gonna smash it. It's fucking Danny C. He was, man, New York in the house, kid. He's gonna smash it.
I appreciate you both having me on for real.
No,
and to you and your families, Happy New Year.
There you go. You're to YouTuber, to you and yours. Sever, thank you for hanging out with me tonight to talk to the great Danny Caiazzo. You know what I mean? From New York, kicking ass. Repping Wu, repping music, repping hip hop. That's the real dude. So, folks, thank you for tuning in. You know what to do. The outro says it all. Thank you for tuning in. Hasta la próxima, mi gente. Much love and a happy New Year to everyone. Later.
Peace.
Thank you for listening to the Comic Crusaders podcast. If you like the content, please subscribe and turn on notifications. Also, please visit comiccrusaders.shop and our extended podcast family over at undercovercapes.com. And also, make sure to download the Comic Crusaders app on the Google Play Store today.